Hello, I'm Tet Gallardo, and today I'm going to welcome you to this podcast with this idea. What if the LGBT parade every year wasn't about pride, but about grace? So, this is the theme of this year's LGBT March in Bayawan City. So, I'm going to talk about that because that's coming up June 30, 4 p.m. at Hayahay Square. So, first of all, why Bayawan? Aside from being the largest agricultural town and being rural, the largeness of it signifies this high volume invisibility telling us, look at me, I'm large, and you should put your event here because the event is about visibility and, let the visibility event come here. So, because of that, so our organizers are from Bayawan, yung talaga mga taga Bayawan sila, and most of them are trans women and gay men, and may mga lesbians din. Ang maganda kasi doon, malakas yung lesbian voices sa Bayawan. That's why ako, nag-gets nila ako. Kasi dito sa Dumaguete, parang ang lakas overwhelmingly ng male gays. So, yung ano din, yung may mga officials in government were saying, Tet, maghakot ka pa nga ng mga lesbians kasi kulang talaga kayo sa visibility. And nahirapan ako because the gay men here are so flamboyant that they're so lovable, ha? The trans women so lovable. Parang it's hard to, it's hard to upstage them or be equal footing with them. Kasi, ano na sila eh, nandun na sila sa complex theater na sila. Eh dun sa Bayawan kasi parang beginnings pa lang, parang sabay-sabay tayo mag-grow, you know, how to own the stage, how to or broaden our platform like that. So, parang doon siguro mapag-aaralan pa ng mas mabuti yung pagmamahalan ba na at saka pagtitinginan, pag-uunawaan kung paano tayo sabay-sabay na lalabas dyan sa eksenang yan, parang ganon. Usually, pag sinabi mong tara, punta tayo sa LGBT March, ang nakikita ng mga tao is sosyalan, di ba? So parang I grew up like that eh. Parang, hey, I'm going to the LGBT march and I'm going to, strut my stuff. I've kissed my girlfriends lots of times on the road in front of protesting Christians on the stage. So, right now, there's been a backlash against pride, the concept and the word pride. So, before last year, our pride events would garner a lot of donations. Like even Christians would donate, even children would donate, like 14-year-old kids, who are probably already, sworn to themselves that they are part of our community. Mag-donate sila. So, ngayon, last year, it went down. The donations went down to 25% of usual na lang. And I was wondering what happened. And it's because I was so busy organizing the Pride event last year that I forgot to scan the news that Pura, Luka, Vega, their decision, Supreme Court decision on their case came out. And as you know, the case against them was about the way they portrayed Christ, right? So they sang the Our Father in a disco setting, like a club setting, right? And it was very theatrical. As a person who has done theater, like producer, director, actor, I could get it. I could get it. But as a person who has to confront or address the Christian communities around me who look to me as a pastor, as a minister, it was hard. It was hard to explain, like what happened there. And I would just tell them it's about bringing Christ down to the masses that can access Christ in every genre. Christ is accessible in every genre. That's what it is for me. And I think that's also what they explained on TV. So, but it's very hard because for people, Christ is this icon, right? Two dimensional icon, but three dimensional Lord and Savior. So they have, we project our ideas of what the Lord and Savior might say to us, right? So it's complicated because you are clashing with a highly Christian country. So for us, we started to examine, a few of us who have organized Pride for years, we started to examine, like, can we still stand on this pride concept? Because some of our donors said, I don't feel comfortable with the word pride anymore. Like that, even if they supported me, Tet Gallardo, the lesbian, for years, they would say now, I don't know if I can support pride anymore. Like pride is such a, because they thought that Pura Luka Vega was actually projecting the sin of pride. So sabi ko, sige, in a way, we maybe it's high time to distance ourselves from that concept because pride is in fact foreign. It's foreign because Filipinos, we don't, it's not endemic or indigenous to us to say, may pride kami bilang Pilipino. That's it. Hindi, or may pride kami bilang Ilocano, di ba? Ganyan. Pero hindi tayo magsasabi na, ang pride ko, ang paninindigan ko na ako ay may karapatan dito. Hindi ganun eh. Usually sabihin natin, may karapatan ako dahil equal ako sa inyo. Ganun tayo, Pilipino. That's our sensibility. So we don't say, may pride ako, kakaiba kami. Parang bilang kakaiba is already something to apologize for, para in Filipino sensibility, tapos lalagyan mo pa ng pride, parang masyadong mahirap panindigan ba? And it's, in fact, the whole pride thing is in fact foreign ang roots. So what is the indigenous root of our values if in case we had to be standing up for ourselves as LGBTs? Ano ba talaga yon? And so we thought of grace. Kasi tayo, bilang mga Pilipino, usually, pag gusto natin ng isang bagay, sinasabi natin, grasya yan. 'Di ba? Ay, grasya yan. May bakla kang, anak, grasya yan. Ganun sila. Or, swerte ka. 'Di ba? So for me, ba't di na lang natin sabihin yon? So March of Grace kami ngayon. Hindi na kami Pride March. So also because hindi naman sa amin nanggaling yung idea ni Pura Luca Vega na gawin mo yan ha, tapos kami lahat behind you. Ang hirap eh. Because that's not our idea. Now we're, parang we're being boiled like frogs in a pot for what they did, and it wasn't, we weren't even consulted, right? But the consequence we have to face. So ang hirap na. So right now it's called March of Grace, and anyway, I hope you come because we say grace because there is grace in diversity, there is grace in uniqueness, and we want grace because it's not oppositional, it's not gera, like grace is like, hey, I have something to give you and this is the grace, di ba? Parang ganon. So, parang it's more Filipino. Parang, hey, may pasalubong ako sa iyo. Oh, grasya. Parang ganon. Parang, it's a more Filipino sensibility that we can stand on. The Bayawan March of Grace, June 30, Saturday, 4 p.m., Hayakay Square, is brought to you by of course, I bring in my church, the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Philippines. There's a Bayawan gay community headed by J.M. Garcia. And then there is Aroha Entertainment and the Negros Island Pride Collective, which was born in 2022. So, yeah. Hey everyone, this is Tet Gallardo again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just trying to make sense of the world with your help. It's good to have an imaginary audience once in a while, right? So it's just that people are so finding it difficult right now to make sense of which way is up, which way is down, left or right, inside out. So our conversations have become transactional, lifeless, pointless, meaningless, right? Discourses on clashes of prescriptions pointing to the same values, anyhow. We all want life, we all want well being and harmony. And so, do we really all want these things?